Hello, I would like to make a video to talk about, something that needs to be talked about. Very essential. The stereotypes. I was out with my friend Luis yesterday, and he was very, very stereotypical on little details that a certain group of people would have. And in that way just explaining, like putting setting the person into a stereotype. Oh, that's all they are. uh, I explained to him reality is much more complicated, and people are very diverse, even within the same culture. Not all French people are the same people. For example, there's different personalities, different life uh, events. There's a whole lifespan narrative, and everybody that they're trying to pigeonhole them into, oh, these people are like this, everybody's the same, they're all defined by this little particular thing that they do. That is a very dangerous prejudice, first of all. So, prejudice, I know a lot about prejudice because that's kind of been my expertise. When I went to homelessness, mental illness, the stereotypes that are given on TV or in media about mental illness is very similar to, like, oh, okay, well, these people are dangerous, uh, whatever the definition could be, even a stereotype of being a nerd. So you're kind of putting in the whole definition of the person on this little thing that they did, or on a picture, for example, that they posted or that they had. You're saying, oh, okay, well, this feeling, or this is what encompasses the whole person. uh, I know for me, like Luis, yesterday, something that bothered me. He said, I'm effeminate. So being effeminate means that somehow I deserve the bad things that happen to me. If I'm poor, the same thing. Somehow I'm less deserving uh, than rich people, and I deserve to have mistreatment because of who I am as a person, which is completely wrong. It's very upsetting to me, uh, obviously. So, then one thing that was clear was that rich people are somehow worth more. Somehow they figured it out more. They're intelligent, they're superior. We can't figure it out because we're lesser human beings. Have lesser value. Similar thing with white people. I know he uses that term a lot. White people, and I'm included in that. White people as well as French people. I told him I'm not French. That's not a label that I want to have. I'm a street kid. That's my label. Uh, but I'm not a white person. I don't identify as being white. It's only when I arrived here, because where I come from, everybody's white. So it's only when I come here that people have started to label me like that. In the beginning, I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm kind of getting guidance into like what my style is, but eventually I realized, oh, okay, these stereotypes are associated with negative things. So, and it's a dismissive. It's just something that you use to encompass whole culture or whole people or whole person, to not have to think. And this is really bad. So the thing is, a culture, the media does not encourage thinking or being going. above the image. This is widely known that it's all about the lights and cameras. I've talked about this before. It's all about how things look like and not how things are. And the messages that are there in media are completely wrong. So it's just giving false information to the public. I've talked about this before, and so they can move the created version. So like people like us, like the protesters, they don't get seen. And more than that, they want to create fights within our group. So mistrust, like, oh, okay, well, this person that's been supporting you actually doesn't have the your good your goodness to heart. He is actually he's misinformed you. He's deceived you. He's a backstabber, and you need to find a real friend because this guy is not to be trusted. And inciting hate, inciting violence, like for me, it was like about reality TV. I'm thinking, oh, okay, well, life is like that, so I need to go to bigger city, and everything's waiting for me there for my success. Everything that I've been hidden from, uh, that my father instructed me wrong. So it's making enemies out of people. And one of the first things that I learned in when I started to learn about like being one of the first things that I learned was bad things happen to good people. So it like my no matter how good you are and how following of the orders that you are, bad things will happen to you. Divorce, death, sickness, etc. You're not exempt. And the second thing that I learned is how to manage your emotions. So you you can have a lot of rage, a lot of hatred, but what do you do with that? So uh, well, there's different coping mechanisms. Writing is one of them. Automatic writing, exercise, hobbies, something that does not involve attacking your fellow brothers and sisters, human beings, especially loved ones, because it's very easy, or it's like the first reflex, I think, to whenever you're hurt or angry, to attack the person that's in front of you or that's with you. And sometimes these are allies. Sometimes you start to have self-hatred and not think that you're worth having people that love you and support you in your life. So you'll sabotage those things through anger and self-hatred, because you believe that the stereotypes that people have said, uh, say people think that, oh, okay, well, you're a feminine person, so feminine people are overreactive. They're not they're not good in a crisis situation, or they're drama. They make drama all the time. They're just not good at being in society. Uh, so whenever there's like descriptions of some of people that are described as lesser than, it's always false. Uh, like it's the same. I go back to when we went to Vancouver, and my mother was saying, "Oh, I can't believe these people are injecting drugs on the street." Well, the thing is, they're ordinary people, and to have to look down on them, I think it's just wrong. So I had in my time in the shelter, I already talked about this, but in the shelter, I met the most kindest people, the most helpful people. It's not the social workers that were helping me. Some a lot of the times it was the fellow uh, shelter mates that were having my back, and they're very they're very smart, very rich. Like they have a lot of knowledge. It's sometimes it's the knowledge that made them be uh, outcast like that. I know, like as a Jehovah's Witness, when I know too much, well, okay, well now you're not allowed to share that information. So it's about information control. And this is why no matter how many videos I make or any post I make, thousands, millions, uh, if there's no viewers, if the mainstream message is completely different, uh, they are using manipulative method, artistic practices to make their message look better than it is, or like the way that they present themselves, like clean cut, or that's not doesn't make the message more true. How you dress, so, or how you have your hair. So a lot of the things like in media that you see, it's not actually the person that's there that's responsible for it, that's on the photo camera. It's the whole team that's behind it, that's making this look like that, and it's not even real. So I've been through this before. So uh, the point is not to encapsulate, maybe be sweeping, generalized statements about one particular thing, detail that that you notice in a person, or that they've experienced in their life, to encompassate that, oh, that's the whole person, that's how they are. Because we are very diverse, and we're very it's like fingerprints. Nobody's the same. Very, very complex, and through the whole lifespan there's many things that we are, so we cannot be under a label to be talked about, like, oh, okay, well, you're a French person, you're a white person, you're a nerd, whatever the label is related to religion or culture, or whatever the label is. This is not complete defining a person. So there's a lot there's a lot that I have to say about the wanting not to have not to think, and just going with the flow with whatever the mainstream media is saying, like it's what's on the news or whatever. And well, in my case, this is the thing is, when you're like when I was in the protest, what was our strength was our solidarity. So we're all acting together towards one goal, uh, which was like getting better housing, getting better social justice, being heard. And the same problem is still happening. We're not heard. Uh, so the best thing that I found was to make a video on YouTube, because to reach as many people as possible, because I don't have the means to control like mainstream media to get my message across on a wide scale, other than uh, video on YouTube or Facebook or social media. But I can repeat myself every day. If my message doesn't get across and people believe other things, uh, it just it's preventing a lot of good things to happen. As for me, I have that dream of becoming a circus instructor. If I don't have anybody that's wanting to get involved, then I can't go anywhere. I'm stuck. So I need to find some other thing to do. Uh, Luis was also saying, calling the label loser, because just thought about that he said these people are not accomplished, they haven't accomplished anything, and they're losers. And again, that's a very sweeping generalization. How do you define success? For me, defining success is to be able to work, like I've said before, to be able to work on creative projects, because this is my value. To have a passionate life and then be honest and have integrity. So I'm achieving success in that way. Also, stable housing, food. So they're the basic needs. Uh, so in that way, I am successful. But how do you prove to Luis or somebody, anybody, that you're successful and not a loser? Well, I don't think that you can change people's perception. Uh, they can believe whatever they want to believe. They can think that I'm a coward or a loser or a traitor, whatever it is. It doesn't impact the way that I'm gonna act or live my life, because I'm living my life how I want to live it. And as for not being accomplished, uh, all I can say is that I've accomplished a lot. Like I was a drywall. I finished my schooling first of all, high school, and then I accomplished. Well, moving from Quebec, like there's so many things that I've accomplished. I've had a very long life already so far. Like I'm 37 years old, so I've accomplished a lot in that time. Many projects, many learnings, many things that don't even relate to each other. And I've accomplished it very well. So going back to school 3 times, and well, three years of a college, basically. So uh, Luis says that's not college. He says that's retard school. And he says, is it for addicted people that you go? Are there only addicted people from drug addicted people on the program? I know that if even if I say no, this is a public college, he's still not gonna believe me. So in his mind, I'm a loser. In his mind, I haven't accomplished anything in my life, which is I can't I can't agree with that. Uh, but at the same time, there's too many things that I would have to name, and I've already written those things in my autobiography. If anybody's interested, on my website, Cargo Collective, uh, La Maudite Misère. But he says, well, you haven't achieved anything because nobody's listening to you. You don't have any friends. I said, I have contacts. I have social workers. I have people that talk to me a little bit. But yeah, well, socially, am I satisfied how I'm doing socially? Mm, sometimes, but why would I need a lot of friends? Like he's basically telling me that because I don't have a lot of views online, or that I'm not listened to by a lot of people, that my stuff isn't good. And I already talked about this. That has nothing to do. The quality of your work has nothing to do with how much appreciation you get for your work, or how many people view your work. So the you can do really bad work and have a lot of people see it and love it, but you can also do very good work and people hate it, and or they ignore it. So uh, the audience the audience perspective is not a good thing to is not a good thing to evaluate the quality of your work. So, and it comes back to criticism as well, where people can really describe you as, okay, well, you're just doing that and that sucks. And sometimes there's a little bit of truth to it, but other times it's completely false. It's a rumor. Like when I was Jehovah's Witness, people would start rumors about me, had nothing to do with anything that was true. So So, well, you can believe me or not, but I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to be as truthful as possible. Uh, I just think I encourage more people to, if you have the capability of hearing, understanding English, and knowing how to use YouTube, uh, then I encourage you to not buy into the mainstream ideas, because they can, or especially when it comes to hurting your brothers and sisters, your fellow humans. Uh, I don't think that's a good idea, because you're wasting your life and your health and everything. So the main idea is there's a lot of variety in opinions and the way that things are done. For example, not just because not all Jehovah's Witnesses are bad people, or that are doing are stupid or whatever it is. There's a big variety of Jehovah's Witnesses out there. When I was a Jehovah's Witness, and I was who I am now. So uh, not because you have a certain lifestyle, because you try to please your parents, different motivations for different people. Sometimes you didn't. Some people didn't have the chance to do the studies. At least for me, didn't have the chance to get the critical thinking about the religion, and I'm just caught up into it, and it's kind of happened all at once, and uh, I don't really have any control or say over it, but it doesn't make it good, or doesn't make me happy about it. Uh, so different experiences, even within the same religion, or the same and different practices. Like I was looking at the death practices for rituals once a person dies, or even the attitude when a person dies. It's extreme, a big spectrum, hundreds, if not thousands, of different ways of doing things, uh, and the way of approaching death, the mindset, the preparation of it. So I'm guessing that every single person on the planet has a different fingerprint when it comes to their opinions and ideas and beliefs. So it's just false to label some group of people like, oh, they're all like that. They're all idiots because they practice this particular thing. It's just not based on anything, and it just makes somebody feel like they're not. And sometimes these people start to believe the lies. And I know, in the shelter, I think the people that were taking care of the place, they would look at us like we're mentally ill, really strange. Like they make fun of us when we're not looking, and even in our face sometimes. Say, "Oh, look at that! You can't even think straight." So if you're acting like a regular human being, you're not gonna get any help. So you need to, at least for me in my experience, I need to develop this persona of being uh, lesser than human. And I think these people believe in the evolution. I'm not saying that everybody in the shelter that's taking care of the shelters believes in evolution, but I think I had the impression that they're looking at us like, oh, okay, well, they're weak. They're not capable of the same things that people that are not in the homeless situation are capable of. Which is just not true, because in my experience, a lot of the people in the shelter were working harder than the workers. and they're smart. I don't know if that's a word, but sometimes it's because they know too much. So uh, I think we need to see people as individuals before putting them all in one category, or name calling, labeling, uh, and seeing that, oh, this particular person demonstrated this, so that's how they are. No, people are more than that. So I hope that this knowledge comes widespread, and people have can avoid this type of prejudice. And let me know if you want me to do a video in French, because some people don't understand the language. So I think that's it. I think I've said what I wanted to say. And yeah, we need to work together. That's not fight each other. That's the simple truth. If we're helping out each other, then that's how we move forward. And whenever there's the feelings of anger, you need to express it in a non-harmful way, not to yourself, not to other people, to hurt your loved ones. And hopefully the information gets spread, and people can not conform and not be believing that they deserve their mistreatment. I know in the shelter for me it was like, well, if you're in the shelter, you're probably a bad person. You've done something horrible, and eventually, once they get to know me, they know that I never did anything wrong, and they would say, well, oh, it's because you're going to do something wrong in the future. That's why you're here. Uh, you're gonna become a criminal. You're gonna do something terrible in the future. That's why you deserve this treatment. So they have this way of rationalizing the way that they treat you, uh, to make it okay. That, oh, well, this person is not is not a human being. So it's like the dehumanizing. I think that's what terrorists do when you try to understand, like, why are people killing each other like that. It's because of that. It's because they're not seeing each other as human beings. They're seeing each other as, oh, okay, well, you're more of an animal than a human, I think. Anyway, I think I'm done. I will stop the video. Thank you. Bye.